You're watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 21st meeting of the Michigan City Sanitary Board. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order, everyone. So, welcome to the December board meeting of the regular meeting of the Sanitary District of Michigan City. I'm calling the meeting to order. Holt Ettinger.
Present.
Chris Yudowski.
Present.
Tim Warner.
Present.
Tim Smith is present, so we're all here. I'd like to ask for approval of the regular board meeting minutes of Monday, November 21st, 2022.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So I'd like to take a little prerogative before public comment. This past month we lost someone that has helped the sanitary district out for many, many years, John Doyle, of his passing, and would like to just do a moment of silence if we can for him and his family. As everyone knows, John did a lot of engineering for the sanitary district and was an integral part of helping us along with many projects. So if we can do that, I appreciate it. Thank you. So we extend our sympathy to John and his family. So.
And his employees.
And his employees, yes, and his employees. So with next agenda item would be public comment. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing none, public comment period is closed. Dan, let's come up for the safety report for December, please.
My pleasure. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hey there. Busy month and lot of activity. The water reclamation department did not have any recordable injuries. That's outstanding. Looks like we'll finish the year with 4 recordable injuries, which is an improvement from last year. In the refuse department, we did have 1 recordable injury. That individual suffered a knee injury. He was on light duty for a period of time, and now he's back to work. And so we have 12, it looks like, for the year, which is fewer than we had last year. And also, in both departments, the severity of injuries appear to be less than they were, last year. Of course, we don't want to see any injuries, and we work very hard to, prevent injuries, but the severity is not quite as bad as it was last year.
And the sprained knee for the gentleman you mentioned, was he off work at all?
No.
Thanks.
No, he was on restricted work activity. Yeah. Thanks for asking. And lots of activity in other areas. The report's pretty thorough, about 8 pages worth right there. Are there any questions on any of the sections that I could help answer?
I've got a couple questions not related to this, but any questions on the report, guys?
No.
Okay. So with the impending storm coming, there's always shoveling, there's always slipping, there's always, and with the cold weather, making sure that our guys and gals out there have all the cold weather gear that they need. Mm-hmm. Just asking to make sure, have we
Yes.
We're all prepared and we're all set?
Just ready to go.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll put out a little safety meeting reminder in the morning.
That would be great.
A good reminder to the crews, and say, okay, before you go out, make sure you're prepared, well hydrated. Mention all the necessary things about cold weather work.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Little reminder before they hit it.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Scott,
Anything else?
Anything else?
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you too.
And I may have to take one for the road.
Well, you can, because you had such a great safety report. Now, if it wouldn't have been so good, we wouldn't have let you do that.
Just be careful of any of that soap spilled in the bathroom, all right?
Yeah. And for the audience, no calories.
Jim, if we have anything on long bridge, I'm just gonna ask you to.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have anything, you can. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll start by reading the cash balances real quick. The operating fund had $908,843.28. The municipal account operating had $6,545.89. The improvement fund had $1,027,771.47. Vehicle replacement fund had $184,464.04. Equipment replacement fund had $668,254. The operating grant fund had no balance, for a total there of $2,795,878.68. Indian Springs project to pay back the SRF was $11,706.39, and the Whippoorwill project was $720.12, for a total in that account of $12,426.51. The SRF debt reserve on the district's loans was $504,217.93. The bond and interest account had $171,773, for a total at the Bank of New York of $675,990.93. Stormwater fund had $497,085.24. The refuse municipal clearing account actually had a negative balance. They were making the entries at the controller's office, and they were made in December. So it had a negative balance of $1,038.35. The refuse account had $789,958.34. The special revenue account had $3,849.55. The levy excess had $8,522.14. The tax levy grant fund had $53,119.78, and the rainy day fund had no balance, for a total in that bank account of $1,351,496.70. So the subtotal before Carwick was $4,835,792.82. The Carwick remediation fund had $218,043.88, for total cash balances of $5,053,836.70. And really, it's pretty much the normal monthly transfers for the difference from the prior month. And just one other note, we did receive yesterday the fall tax settlement. So that came into our bank account, and that was roughly about 1.6 million, maybe a little higher. And that's already been recorded. So it came in yesterday. So that was good news. And it came in at what we were expecting. So, any questions on the cash? Okay. And then I put in the budget performance reports. And as always, if you go to the last page, you can see that we tracked right along the budget. I'm going through to do all the year-end adjustments and, clean up stuff. We don't really have that many adjustments here anymore. So the only thing is, on the operating fund and on the refuse fund, we actually have 3 payrolls this month. So it's gonna, that cash might come down a little bit. And but overall, it looks pretty good on all of them. And when I finish the year end, On the refuse and stormwater, we're gonna do minor transfers. There's 4 major categories. There's personal services, there's supplies, there's other services, and then there's like miscellaneous, which is kind of capital outlays, transfers. And if you have to move something from one of those categories to another category, it's called a major transfer. We don't have any of those. So, but next month I'll have the minor transfers for you guys to approve.
Okay.
But I can't do it until we finish with, next year. That's one thing. On the stormwater one, if you go to the second page on stormwater, at the bottom, you see that capital infrastructure of 100,000. The first thing, one of the first things Steve's going to talk about is the US 12 Custer project. And we're actually got a grant on that. So at 100,000, I was going to transfer to the tax levy capital fund. To do that, I have to transfer it to the transfer, but it's in the same section, so it's going to be a minor transfer. But I would just ask for your approval to go ahead and transfer. It doesn't change bank accounts, just changes funds. So I just ask for your approval to move it, because we're still working out like the grant, but Steve will talk more about that when he comes up.
Okay, so we don't need to do the approval now?
Well,
What do you want us to do the approval?
I would do the approval on the transfer.
All right, so I'm gonna ask for a motion to approval on transferring the
$100,000.
$100,000 from stormwater to
The tax levy
the
grant.
tax levy
Grant fund.
grant fund. Can I get a motion? Or is there any discussion first?
You say it's in the same category?
Yeah, because that's at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, capital outlays in the same category as transfers. So it's kind of like all the other stuff's at the bottom. There's not a whole lot down
Yeah, it's
there.
right here.
I will move to approve the transfer to the tax levy grant fund.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Okay. Now the next thing, this is the first thing is there's a typo at the top of the copy you guys got. It says approving 2022 budget. I changed that for the copy, if you guys approve it, to 2023 for the one that you guys are gonna sign. So anyways, should have said 2023. And what I did was, back in November, I tried to do a full year projection and then the proposed budget. And it's pretty similar. It doesn't really change a whole lot. You know, in this last year, the wages, well, the benefits changed because of the 9%, but this year it was 2.5%. And the cash balance is at the bottom. I'm still working on those, but overall, I think that will be the budget. And if you go to the next thing in your packet, how I get to those numbers that are in there, there's these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 departments that make up that budget. And if you look at it, you see the staffing across the top. That's the number of people we have in each of those departments. And that's how I get to the totals. Now, on repair and maintenance, or in some other things, you know, it's hard to expect which department's gonna need the repair and maintenance. Some years it's the lift stations, some years it's the plant. So, but anyways, that's how I get to the total. So, I just thought it'd be nice for you guys to see, and it helps with the departments. And you can see, you know, the departments are pretty self-explanatory. Office has the engineers and the GIS coordinator, and also the HR specialist. and then the general manager, operations manager, myself, and staff accountant, and the bookkeeper, and customer service rep, and the dispatcher. So that'd be the 11. But I wanted to, because as you can see, that's the big hitter. So, I mean, I wish I would have got it to you guys sooner, but it really hasn't changed much. And the last page of that first one, the auditors like the fact that we've included this schedule on transfers. And these are the monthly transfers we're gonna make to the various funds, other funds. And this year it was like 1.2 million. Next year it's basically 1.2 million again. The equipment one,
Including with the salary increases and everything?
well, this is just the transfers to
Alright,
the other
got it.
funds.
Okay. All right.
The big things on that I'm expecting, equipment replacement fund, there's probably two things that are coming at us. One is the filter building upgrades, which we're still waiting on parts, I believe.
Yes, we're hoping to begin that project in the early part of January.
Yeah. And then we also have to replace the chlorine and sulfur dioxide pipes.
Yes, that's in progress now. We were waiting for special piping that arrived just a few days ago.
Right. So those two I'll probably come back and ask for your approval to use that fund to pay for those two items.
Okay.
So if I could, I'd ask for your approval of that 2023 budget. The other thing, if you do see something like after
2023.
2023, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I mean, you say that again.
Write it on there.
Yeah, I am. It's already changed on the one that's signed, or to be signed. You know, if you see something that doesn't make sense, we can discuss it, and we can always amend the budget at a future date, so.
So, and I might have missed it in the budget, but we've kind of been talking a little bit about like starting a fund for a new filtration plant. And we can talk offline about that.
Yeah, well,
You know, I think we need to maybe we discussed it at one time. I don't remember, but I'm kind of thinking that, you know, we need to probably start putting a line item in for, you know, the plant itself.
Right, like the belt press also has been in service for a long time.
well, but the equipment fund has needed
Equipment
use.
replacement fund.
But the equipment replacement
But the
fund isn't.
filtration building's a different
Yeah.
story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a
You're talking
different,
about new.
yeah, that's a whole, yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of talked about that a little bit, but we really haven't discussed it a lot. And so, you know, I think we want to maybe start thinking about what we're going to do for the new building.
What and how?
Right. Well, and
Yeah.
when Kyle comes out to do the cost of service study,
Yeah.
I'll bring it up with him.
Yeah, would you do that, please?
Yeah. So,
Do we have an estimated cost?
no.
No, that's that's why I wanted to start kind of thinking about it. Yeah.
I think we did a few years ago. I don't know if we did it because I remember someone talking about a figure, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay, so can I get a motion to approve resolution 1460-22 approving the 2023 budget for sanitary user rate-based funds, please? Or if there's any discussion first.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion's approved.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the next thing is Just approving the regular monthly board meeting schedule. And this is just like pretty much every year, fourth Wednesday of every month, and then some minor tweaks for November and December. So I'd ask for your approval on those.
Can I get a approval on resolution 1461-22, 2023 regular monthly board meetings of the Sanitary District Board? Commissioners?
Motion approved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Here, can you give,
Passed.
can you give it one to Mr. Maladovich? Okay. Here we go. No, I changed it. And I'm gonna bring up why in a minute. Here we go.
Difference in dates?
No, what happened was, on Monday, the city decided to add a holiday. And it's, if you look on the second page, it's, employee birthday. So, it's not in the one in the packet, but this is the one that I would ask you to approve. And you can see that you have to take, you get 1 day in the month of your birthday, in case your birthday falls on a weekend or something like that, or you can't take it on your birthday.
So, can I, okay, there's no elections in the fall. The elections, this is an off-year election cycle.
I thought there was an
There
election.
is.
There is. For here. Yeah.
Oh, for here, okay, all right,
Yeah, for here.
all right, okay,
Well, and to be honest, I just copied what the city did.
all right, okay.
I always
Yep.
do because we
Sorry
try
about
to be
that, I forgot about
consistent.
local elections.
Yeah, we try to be consistent pretty much with everything we do.
It was, and just if I may comment, it was something that was in existence, my gosh, until 81, and then it was taken out in 81, put back, then taken back out under Mr. Overly
Okay,
administration, and the mayor decided to put it back as a
okay,
reward for the hard work during COVID times.
okay,
Oh, that's the birthday?
That's the birthday, correct?
Okay.
yeah.
Is that anytime the employee wants it, or does it have to be near their birthday?
No, you got
Month of
it.
their birthday.
It's- oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that's-
and if you look at the bottom, you gotta get the permission of your
Yeah.
supervisor, and, you know.
Okay,
So we'll take it along with vacation or whatever.
But I would ask that you approve this one, or I'm gonna hear about it.
all right, so we're gonna approve,
Before you do, I'd recommend adding to the, for some question as to the methodology for approving and who can approve a 3 days. So just say, you know,
Floating birthday,
as long as, it's okay, I believe it'll be okay, but I know.
subject to
there's gonna be some-
supervisor approval.
No, just subject to it being properly approved, because if the city changes, I don't think you guys want to come back and vote every time you might change a date. And if it's determined that, for God knows what reason, some procedural snafu that it doesn't get passed by the city.
Well, the additional, it's passed.
It's past Monday at the Board of Works.
Right, but the question is does the Board of Works have the legal authority to grant employees a day off? Because you are, I'm just, not saying this, I'm telling you the question that's been raised.
There was
By,
also,
persons other than those sitting in this room. And the question is being, since it's a matter of money, does the city council have to approve it? Like it does all the other holidays and vacation work. So I'm just suggesting that you would say, you know, this or otherwise, or as otherwise approved by the city. So if the city changes something,
okay, got it, thank you. All right, so I'm gonna look for a motion to approve resolution 1462-22, 2023 holiday schedule for sanitary district employees, as the schedule is stated on the second page of the addendum that Scott put out, that also this holiday schedule is subject to either the city council or human resources passing.
or may not be subject to anything.
Yeah, so
or sort of schedule as it exists, or as otherwise approved by the city.
Right. Okay. Do I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Did you want to restate it?
I think the way it was stated, how's that?
Okay, well, I was just wondering.
I would say,
Yeah.
moved by, based upon work with the city's schedule.
Yes.
The city's holiday schedule.
Yeah, because the way they do it, they update a policy.
Right.
Okay, based on the holiday
And
schedule.
I would re-second that revision.
Okay, all in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. The next thing I put in is, I got the, proposal from Carl to do a full cost of service study. It's higher than, I think the other one I had was like 10,000 or 15,000. But this will take a little bit more time, but I think it's a little better. And given what we talked about just a minute ago, about the treatment facility and other things, and, you know, I would ask the board to approve us moving forward with this agreement.
I just have a question. Sure. I made on the second page. They have their hourly rate plus reimbursables not to exceed limit. What are the limits of their reimbursables? I didn't see anywhere in here where they identified what mileage, is it hotels? I didn't, maybe I missed it. I don't know.
One thing is that, you know, pretty local, and from what I've
Intense out back.
That's fine, as long as we state that in here, that you will be in tents out back and not in any nice hotel. No, I just mean.
No hotel, nice or
Otherwise, yeah.
We've used them for the last
Like I know for
5 years.
Right.
I have not seen.
He's in Maryville, so I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
I've never seen any reimbursables at all.
Nah, yeah, hardly anything worth.
And that would be something that you would have to approve anyway if they came into you with the invoice.
Right,
So,
right, yeah.
okay, that was the only,
No, that's a good point, though. I'll talk to Carl about it, because he should probably add it to his exhibit D hourly bill.
yeah, I mean, because any proposals I've ever done in the past for consulting, we always had to put mileage rates and everything if we were gonna do any reimbursables. That's all.
now he's gonna put it in there because you brought it
No,
up.
I know, but at least we'll have an idea of what it's gonna cost.
hotels.
Yeah.
You just drove up for a cost.
Well, it's not to exceed, it's already a not to exceed, it's just you won't be able to use it
Is
for
there-
the hours. So.
Is there anything else we want to have in this as a board?
Just a couple questions.
Okay.
Is there an estimated range time of how long this is probably or approximately going to take, or historically take, or an estimated
And also,
completion date?
who's gonna work on it from his staff? Because I don't see anything in here about, you know, is Carl gonna be working on this? Who are they gonna have working on this?
He's got staff, like Damon did the last one, and then Carl reviewed it.
Okay.
So Damon's not.
He's no longer there, but they do have 2 other people they've hired recently. They'll probably do a lot of, but most of the work basically is done by me. It's,
I would suggest that we could tap some of these loose ends in the PSA document, so.
Okay.
yeah,
Well, number 7, there's a wide discretion. There may be things that he's gonna work on, for instance, he has the management plan for other accounting situations that come up. We're gonna have another audit, of course, by the State Board of Accounts at some point. So it's always good to have a catch-all that Scott can use to use them for.
Okay.
but we're in much better shape than we were the last time we did one of these.
Okay.
Because of the New World financial system, we're light years ahead. I would expect us to have this done within the first quarter.
Well, and it says don't exceed, I mean, so maybe we're not gonna go up to the full amount of hours.
I think our agreement with them for this year said something like, do not exceed 10 or 15 for this year, because we hire them every year to do other services. I think we spent like 2,500 total.
Okay.
And that, some of that was Long Beach too. So, so anyways,
So Scott, along with all the oodles of information that is going to be gathered, you'll be compiling that and making recommendations or,
Yeah.
okay,
Well, Carl, there's like a standard format, what he's gonna produce.
There's an algorithm that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, I mean, the big piece is to have your 2022 financials completed, which I hope to have hopefully mid-January, because we're in pretty good shape. I mean, all the bank accounts are reconciled as of yesterday, and then, and I'll reconcile them again at the end of the month. And the expenses, I mean, we're in pretty good shape. So I think I need to, I'll talk to Carl and get a calendar from him of what he thinks. Yeah.
also if in fact there becomes, information gaps or bumps in the road, if the board could be made aware of any of those
Okay.
adjustments, that maybe collectively we can, along or outside of the algorithm, we can, maybe solve that together.
Right.
If there's information gaps.
Just like about a year ago, you were asking.
Well, do you want to be involved in this?
I think we all should.
Okay.
We all have to go back, ideas.
Yeah, because a year ago, we talked a lot about the reserves that were included in the last one.
Yeah.
And, we did a really good job on upgrading a lot of the facility and a lot of the infrastructure.
Okay.
But anyways, I would ask the
But there's
board.
still a lot to do.
Oh, there is, there's never, it never ends, but,
Yeah, there's the one.
but,
The impression to be given that there's, a reason why we won't be
no.
transfers.
But like, say, lift stations, I mean, we put in the three biggest, brand new, three biggest ones. They're all in place now. That was pretty big. So, and there were other things, but, anyways,
Okay.
Yeah.
so could I ask for your approval to proceed?
Any other discussion at all? If not, can I get a motion to proceed with the Senator Dalton Municipal Advisors Financial Advisory Services to Michigan City Sanitary District, please, for is this really just 2023, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Can I get a motion, please?
I will move to approve Senator Dalton's proposal.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Okay. And then there were three things from last meeting that the first one President Smith brought up. I talked to Charlie Keene at GIS. He's going to present at the next board meeting.
Okay, great.
And so we have to renew it, renewal date's March 1st. So that'll give us January and February. Can't get that done.
Great. Thank you.
Commissioner Ettinger asked about visiting Hobart and talking to Hobart. I called Best Equipment. Hopefully, we're going to get out there either the second or third week of January because of the holidays. So, and then someone asked, I forget who, how many toters we had.
I did that, yeah.
Did you ask that? Yep. We have 181 as of today. And we just put a PO in for the 624 that are gonna come from the ARPA funds. So,
When will those be delivered,
well, we got 181 right now.
Yeah, I can always use a new one and beat mine up all the time.
I would say, to be honest, probably March. But I think
You won't run out of it before then. But
no, we're in much better shape there.
A lot of new toters in the old barn, a lot.
So there's 181. I just
somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's a lot compared to what we've used them.
Yeah, because we bought 324, so we've gotten through
Half of them.
140 of them already.
Okay.
So, and one last thing. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas
Merry
to you too.
Christmas.
Yeah. Thank you for everything you've done this past year.
Any other questions?
Yeah, you get a cookie too.
No, I'm hoping no one eats them because I'm gonna take them home.
You think so?
Yeah, we're gonna fight at the end.
Let the arm wrestle for it.
That's right. Okay, all right. So, Steve and Mike, update on projects, please.
Yes. Mr. Stafford.
Evening, Commissioners. Mr. Milotovic, did you want to raise that one topic before?
Yes, I did pass out to the
Memorandum?
commissioners the memorandum concerning one of our staff from Refuge, I believe, that is recovering in strong recovery, but it will take more time than was originally anticipated, requiring some additional approval from the board.
This is unpaid leave,
Yes, FMLA.
right, I understand it. People, everybody understand, audience to understand it.
Yes, thank you.
This is not extending paid leave, this is extending unpaid leave.
Well said.
Can I ask, upon return, is he gonna be at full capacity then?
It sounds like he's gonna make
That's my understanding.
a full recovery.
The employee has a checkup with his doctor on January 16th. We're gonna know more after that.
Okay. All right, can I get a motion to approve FMLA Medical Leave Act for Calvin Elm from the Refuge Department, please?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, on the projects, this 3.2 acre parcel that we're thinking about possibly making a purchase offer on. We've got appraisals underway with two appraisers, AER Group and Valuation Services, and they should both be available by January 15th. On the 6 acre donation parcel near the Hitchcock facility, Bruce Carter is currently preparing an eligibility determination request for submittal to EPA. Provided that the site is eligible, the Phase 2 work plan will be prepared and implemented during early 2023. The donor continues to be patient with us as the due diligence process slowly unfolds.
The eligibility references the brownfield grant.
Yes, sir. Okay, US 12 and Custer. You'll find in your packet progress and final completion report that I put together for the IFA. It was well received. They asked for some of the backup information, which was subsequently provided. I think the work turned out rather nice.
Any questions at all? Go ahead, Steve.
Right.
Just point out, the documents are actually signed by Mr. Gorsica, and the versions in your packets were not. But
Yeah, that's the next
the official
item.
record.
That's the next item, Jim.
Yeah.
That's not the report.
No, I mean, the next document.
I have that copy for the board, so.
Okay. All right.
Steve, the exhibits that are all identified in here,
Yes, sir.
was that just a lot and a lot of paper, or was it something pretty okay?
It's a lot. It was drawing sheets, it was PSAs, it was bid packages from John Doyle. And
That's all right.
the IFA ultimately only wanted to get a copy of the contract that resulted from they wanted the RFQ and the contract that resulted, so I sent those to them.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, next item is a certificate of final completion, approval and acceptance of the work. Mr. Gorsica has signed this version here, as has Matthew Kane, president of the HRP. I recommend that we accept the certificate of final completion and execute it accordingly.
Any questions? If not, can I get a motion to approve section 009510, certificate of final completion, approval and acceptance of work on the US 12 storm drainage improvement project, US 12 and Custer Avenue, and US 12 and Francisco Street.
I move to approve as stated.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
Next item is HRP's pay request 1614-1, the amount of $133,915.50. This is right in line with their contract, and I recommend that we approve it for payment.
So, any questions on the payment to HRP? All right,
If John was good with it, I'm good with it.
can I get an approval for payment to the HRP invoice 1614-1 for $133,915.50?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
That'll be on next month's docket.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
It's not on this
I
docket.
figured it.
Okay,
I wanted to wait for you guys to come.
all right, okay. And I'm assuming that's the same with the retainage too?
Yep. And then the 100,000 will cover some of this.
Okay, that's why I went back and hesitated a minute, because I wanted to see where that was.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
They'll cover some of this.
All right.
And that 100,000 will be on next month's EFT's docket
All right,
as a transfer.
okay, thank you.
Okay, the next item on this project is HRP invoice 1614-2, which is for retainage, the amount of $14,879.50.
Any questions? Can I get a approval of HRP's invoice of 1614-2 retainage for $14,879.50? Bless you. Oh, it wasn't a sneeze, sorry.
As he is holding his breath, I will move to approve invoice 1614-2 for $14,879.50 for HRP.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Aye.
Okay,
Okay, next item is a White Ditch Maintenance Project. I just have a little to say about it that John informed me about today. He reports that HRP's subcontractor AES has completed the removal of logs, brush, tree debris, and brush and tree debris from the 75-foot wide by 792-foot long easement area to facilitate skim cleaning of the ditch. HRP says they will begin skim cleaning when the ground freezes in late January.
okay.
California Avenue Drainage Improvement Project. We discussed the idea of putting up speed bump signs at the last meeting. And you can see that they're up.
If we had any more complaints, now that they know it's there, nobody's ripping the bottom of their car out.
Well, this was an outgrowth of Sean Smith's request from the street department. Snowplow. Struck one of these.
See if they last for the winter.
They all look pretty good still, because they're keyed into the pavement like an inch. They're not just tacked on.
That'll make the plow driver bounce a little bit.
Apparently it already has once.
Oh, really?
Okay, on filter building control system, John Paxson from Jason Paxson. I keep thinking John Paxson from the Chicago Bulls. All right, Jason Paxson from Shambaugh says that their distributor has shipped the Allen Bradley I/O modules and the analog input modules they need to complete the work. And as Mr. Milata mentioned, I'm hoping to get that started in January. Similar update for the Strebel Pond restoration project. This 4-year project kicked off in the fall of 2020. with application of herbicide to invasive species, mainly Phragmites. Spring of 2021 included the prescribed burn, which was followed by late season seeding with native plants. The two last years, 2023 and 2024, will focus on invasive species management, such as hand wicking of stray Phragmites and a small stand of cattails at the north end of the pond. Mr. Milotovic and I walked the site with RUS's new project manager. His name is Matt Borden, and he seems to be a well-qualified and experienced to take over. Okay, Strievel Pond lights. Both lights are in place. With no NIPSCO power available at the south parking lot, a solar light was installed. Its light output this morning was not particularly impressive, to me at least. Marquis explained that this fixture derates itself as the battery drains overnight and it becomes dimmer. He believes its performance should be markedly better when daylight hours increase. We're almost at the winter solstice right now.
Yeah.
It's about as bad as it's going to get.
Okay.
All right, 300 North and 421 sewer project. Mr. Gorska reports that the water main installations has been the major controlling operation. With D&M placing a ductile iron from the intersection of 950 West and 300 North towards US 421. Sanitary sewer installation remains a subordinate operation with D&M's placement of 530 linear feet of 18-inch PVC sewer pipe and two manholes from the intersection of 300 North and US 421 towards the south along the east side of US 421. Repair the sanitary sewer in the 1100 block of Earl Road and the alley. Scuda Construction of Marion, Illinois has been under contract for this project since June 20th, 2022. He's been thus far unable to complete the work because their remotely operated camera-equipped cutters were inoperable this summer and fall. According to Mr. Scuda, both machines have been repaired as of last week. He had committed himself to return on the week of December 26th. However, because the epoxy liner is cured using steam generators, freezing weather is now a factor. Contractor is nevertheless committed to taking advantage of the next day when temperatures are above freezing. Admin building structural evaluation. As mentioned last month, members of our collection staff dug exploratory excavations in the front and rear of the building on November 30th. This was so Global Engineering could visually inspect the nature and condition of the foundation in the absence of record drawings. The foundation was observed to consist of concrete grade beams about 3.5 feet deep, supported by spread floors bearing on what appears to be natural soil at a depth of about 4 feet below grade. The column with the vertical cracks in the brickwork at the main entrance was found to be supported by an extension to the grade beam bearing on a spread footer. The foundation system beneath the column looks to be in perfect condition. As it turns out, the vertical cracks in the column's brickwork appear to result from corrosion of an internal metal column and subsequent swelling. The column is going to need to be replaced, but we will wait until Global's report is received in the middle of this week. Carroll Avenue Sewer Extension. Haas's PSA was signed on November 7th, 2022. It allows 180 days for completion of the PER. Mr. Haas reports that a base map of existing conditions for creating exhibits is in progress. And he met with his staff this morning regarding surveying of inward elevations of nearby sanitary sewer manholes and assembly of necessary information. Haas anticipates writing of the PER to begin in January. The 2022 Brownfield grant, you've got a small item in your packet on that. That's just an email from John Jervis saying that he's approved the BCA's quality assurance project plan for the work under the new grant. October land application, last month I reported we delivered 1,505 wet tons to the farm. During October, the October report, I got an excerpt in here so you can see sort of what goes into this, and you can see where I've signed this and where the farmer has signed it on the last page. These are like most of our monthly reports. They're due on the 28th of the month following. The month that the report is pertains to. Laboratory accreditation based on our discussion last month. Arrangements have been made with A2LA to complete an on-site assessment required to renew our accreditation that otherwise expires on March 31st. This is not yet scheduled, but we anticipate it that will be in January or February. Mike, the assessor, actually is suggesting February 13th through the 15th. I sent a copy of that to Sue to make sure it doesn't conflict with something she's already got laid out for herself. We've also solicited a proposal from Microbac to assist us with an internal audit, which is another fee-based component of our accreditation process. Last item here, we have a cost-sharing agreement with our co-funding agreement with the USGS. They're requesting, well, we co-funded this thing with USGS since at least 2018. According to steelheaders I've spoken with, the gauge is popular with anglers. The USGS is requesting that we provide $9,775 for fiscal 2023, as we have in prior years. If we would like to continue our contribution, Mr. Milatovic will need to sign and return a copy of the joint funding agreement included in your packet. Mr. Milatovic has told me he would like to go ahead and do this, so I'd like to ask your approval for us to do this.
It's consistent with
Yeah.
what we paid the last few years.
Well, just to mention that sport fishing is a lot of attraction for us here in Michigan City, so.
Yep, good point, Mike.
And we'll get the address updated to you, your name and Michael Cuss then, when we do this, I take it?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we get a remote feed on that meter, or do we have to get a download?
You could pull it off your telephone right now if you wanted to. So yes,
Well, good to know for the public.
or your computer at home. In fact, I was looking at it today. It's got the gauge level and water
Does the
temperature.
public know that they can do that? And that's helpful to the fishermen.
You can
Yes.
look up the USGS website and see this information in any format you'd like to see it.
And what was the temperature today?
Cold.
And it'll be worse tomorrow versus the next day.
How often do we update our website?
Honestly, I don't know.
It's not very. Not very.
I know.
It's not very dynamic. What would you like?
I'm just thinking that, you're right, sport fishermen is important in Michigan City.
No, that's true.
And,
Any season.
rather than saying, hey, go to the US Geological, which they can do, maybe if they're looking at, we put it on our sanitary district on the page. Up front.
As long as USGS is okay with us putting a link to it.
I don't see why that would be a problem, because the USGS is a public domain name,
Just out there,
right?
Yeah.
So if it's public domain, we
We
can
can
use it.
link to it.
So I will follow up on that, Commissioner, and let you know what to
Okay.
come up with.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead.
On the staff reports, this month I'd like to call your attention to efforts of Mr. Gorsuch and Mr. Basil to sustain the city's community crossings grant program. Page 2 of Tony's report describes some of what goes into this effort. As the city's de facto program manager for the time being, Mr. Basil reports that the city has applied for $700,000 which when added with the 50% match required, should provide $1.4 million in resurfacing and related work during the term of the pending grant.
This isn't, he's not gonna maintain the grant though, moving forward. This is what that got.
In fact, he wants to end his involvement in this process.
Yeah, I'm just suggesting he does.
The only reason Tony's doing this right now is because Mr. Basil doesn't have alligator arms. That's what it comes down to.
So Scott, who's gonna maintain this then?
Somebody up at City Hall.
Should be, yeah.
Or an engineering contractor.
And that's why, because we didn't get any money this year. No, we lost it all. So this is the new stuff.
Okay.
So Tony did a great job on it. You know, but we really need someone up there to maintain it. It's too hard for us to know how these things are paid and when they're paid.
Well, and it doesn't relate to sewers, it relates to
Streets.
Yeah, agreed. Okay. All right.
Now, Commissioners, I have an item that, for the moment, I was gonna bring up under new business. This is simply because I neglected to include it in the agenda.
Just, you can bring it up now.
It's a professional service agreement for Delta Institute for helping us with swag process during 2023. I have 10 copies of it here. One of the focus, one of the tasks we've got in here for them for 2023 is helping us with NCM 1 and 2 under the new
Thanks, Steve.
MS4 requirements that we're subject to. The value of the PSA is $75,000, which is consistent with what we did in 2020 and 2020 and 2021. I'd like to ask your approval to enter into this PSA with Delta Institute.
Am I correct that they also have assisted us with the grants?
Yes, sir. That's another task in their scope of service.
It's been very successful, actually.
Yes.
So,
And I think they run the swag meetings very well.
Agreed.
so can I get any questions, first of all? I'm sorry. No questions. Can we get approval for the professional services agreement with Delta Institute for an hourly rate plus reimbursable not to exceed the limit of $75,000?
So moved.
Can you get a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thanks, Steve.
All right.
Merry Christmas, and you can have a cookie too.
Thank you.
Mr. President, if I may just add one item, in reference to the A2LA and our laboratory and proficiency and all accreditation, I was asked to extend the invitation for any and all board members that would like to walk through the laboratory from our laboratory chief manager, Sue Lehman. So if you ever wish to come by, we would be happy, the laboratory staff particularly, to show you what we do and how this A2LA figures into our program.
Okay,
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. Please tell her thank you as well.
I certainly will. Thank you.
If the snow holds up on Friday, which I don't think it's going to, I'll try to get in here and let you know.
Bring the snowshoes.
Yeah.
All right, Jim.
Nothing really new to add. No, obviously I worked with staff and PS and the contractors in reference to various items that have been on the agenda. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer it.
Anything, guys? Okay.
No.
All right.
Hey, can I go back to something just a minute? Hey, Steve,
Yes, sir.
on this maintenance report for November 22nd, the second item under the last item, on the second page of that, on 1129 mission telemetry reported pump number, I think that should be pump number 2, and that pump number at sign was probably a, yeah, right, cat locking or something.
Ampersand is not our number.
Yeah. Unless we're starting to change the names of our pump stations. We might have run out of numbers, but, did you see that?
Well, there is political correctness.
So I just have to show that I'm going through this stuff.
Obviously. Now we got 2 of them.
All right, thank you, Mr. President.
Going on there.
No, he wins.
I have a lot of value in my fellow commissioners. Okay,
All right.
so, I'd like
Sorry,
to, are you finished? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You can have a cookie too. Approval and allow revenue and tax levy claims for payment, please. Can I get a motion?
Motion approved.
Thanks, Holt. Second?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any old business? Any old business? Any old business? Any new business? Any new business? Any new business? Oh, go ahead, Jeff, sorry. Sorry?
I have 2 things. The first thing I have is, and it's just something that approaches on a regular basis with me, but with the toters that we brought up earlier is, how do we decide who gets them and how many they get? I've seen businesses with 20 cans, I've seen businesses with 3, I've seen businesses with, at what point do they have to have a dumpster? Or do we give them the service? I'm just curious about that.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question. I'm not sure of the ordinance. It's a little vague in the ordinance. And that's what.
Maybe we should look at changing
Maybe we
it.
should tighten it up.
Yes. I mean, we're short of toters all the time. I'd like to know where they're going and why they're going.
The other thing is, it kind of depends where you're at in the city too. On the north end, I think a lot of the businesses are more seem to have toters because they have people living above their businesses. You know what I mean? So you see, like, they got like 4 or 5 apartments, so those businesses, it looks like they got like 8 toters out there.
Can we do this? Can you pull the ordinance for the next meeting?
Sure.
And we can kind of start maybe a little discussion on that, because I think the other thing, Scott, you and I talked about, there was one resident that had 5 or 6 totes.
Right.
So I guess, with the expense of them, how many do we provide per resident? So, and then they have to pay for
Yeah,
the
so
next.
one free and the rest are.
So I think,
Yeah.
I think that we need to kind of, maybe with the new totes and that, let's kind of start discussing that if we could,
I'm gonna
please.
pull the other ordinance too.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Chris.
I'm gonna pull the other ordinance on garbage pickup.
Yeah.
Because with the one-arm things coming, we're gonna have to change that ordinance.
Yeah, I think,
Now, I
that-
found somebody that's done it for some smaller cities, but anyways, I'll pull that one.
okay, that would be really helpful, and then if you have the example of the smaller cities, that would be great.
Yes, in fact, I was going to mention that at the council meetings, there's been discussion about that.
Okay.
Concerns about distribution and accountability.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that maybe we can work with our council liaison, Don Prevalinsky, on, to maybe work on ordinance with them.
I will reach out to Mr. President.
That would be great. Thank you. Okay.
I have another one, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, Chris. That's great.
My second one, I'd like to pass this down. I'd like to kind of just use this as a reference for, to take a peek at, but I find it's kind of disturbing in a sense that
I saw these.
these are current pictures of Streetle Pond, and I don't know who took the time to tape the garbage can closed, but it's kind of crazy. And then secondly, to padlock not just once but twice the restrooms closed. It doesn't make sense either. I just don't know what
We probably did the restrooms because they're vandals.
So that's the restroom door that the police department damaged, well, destroyed essentially. That was the only way that was the simplest way maintenance could come up with, just resecure the door.
But then if you look at some of this fencing and what have you, it's just
We
kind
need to
of,
maintain this.
I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't look like this place is maintained whatsoever.
Chris, Jimmy Michaels has already asked for approval for the materials to make those repairs and stuff like that, most of them.
They're underway.
So I guess my question then is, there's a lot of people that walk out here, and this is kind of a, it seems like it's a subject matter with the lights and everything else. So I guess who from staff is going out and kind of managing this? Because it looks like there's a few things out there that we need to get repaired. So,
Closer monitoring of.
yeah, I mean, this
That
here.
certainly needs annual maintenance
Yeah,
of that.
this here happened a while ago, so no one's looking at it, guys. So, I
Years
guess,
of deterioration, yeah.
who do we have someone? I'm just asking.
Our collections department handles maintenance and stocking, cerebral ponds, and mowing.
So then can we have supervisors or someone to go out and do a regular monthly check on this or something? I mean,
Or is this something we could work out, something with the park department?
well,
I mean, they do more of this than we do,
I'm-
I don't know, Jim, is that a
There's a
possibility?
possibility, sure. You could have either department, because the sanitary district is a department of the city, it's also a special task district, just like the park department is a department of the city.
yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
if this were made from PVC pipe or vitrified clay pipe, I could see where we could handle that pretty easily. But carpentry work isn't really our bag.
But now we have Carwick too, so.
Yeah, there's another, right.
well,
Well, I don't want to speak for Steve, but I will, that
but I will.
we like to occasionally take a walk around here, around our facility, and scrutinize different aspects of like the riprap that was put in over by Sherrill Creek, where the old bridge was, that was falling apart. So anyway, perhaps we can work into our walking schedule to take a turn around by Struble Pond and perhaps
remediation.
We've been to both places.
Yeah,
Maybe on a more regular and at the same time scrutinize the condition of things.
yeah, and I'm not faulting you. Everyone is busy. I mean, that's why I'm asking, not past, but moving forward. right?
Absolutely, yeah, we have to
So
do it.
who could we have to do
Point
it?
taken.
Because it's like,
Right.
I mean, this is great that someone pointed this out, and let's try to fix it and kind of, have a little bit more.
Stay out of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
So that would be great. So, I mean, and your idea with the park department, maybe there's something we can figure
They
out
would
with that.
certainly have a better connection for replacing the garbage bin lids and things like that, because they do it all over in all the parks, I'm sure.
Yeah, Jim asked for approval to buy a new can.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we put that on next month's agenda, or you guys take a look and whatever we need here, let's see what we can do.
So we'll get it fixed up by spring.
About $3,000 worth of materials, which is well within the approval limits for
Okay.
maintenance material expenditure.
And does that take into
All those
account for all
spindles.
these and the spindles and then the PCV that's all? I mean, I can just about imagine someone stepped on this to get it that way,
Right.
unfortunately.
We have some cars that I think also took out sections.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay. But yeah, maybe we can work something out with the park district, or, whatever you guys wanna do on it.
We do have good communication with the park department, and we support the canoe race and all, and generally we're in good communication.
Yeah,
Perhaps I can even attend their board meeting and raise the point, or
yeah,
speak with
Let's
them.
talk to Mr. Shin,
Yes,
yeah, talk to
Shin,
him.
and then see what they have to say.
exactly.
Thanks, Chris. This is, we definitely don't want to have this as a, kind of
Like just a
representative of
black
our
eye, but
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it took quite an effort to tape up a garbage can closed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
That was a lot of time.
silly. I mean, I'm sorry, it's just silly. Doesn't make sense to
Whoever
me.
did it, yeah.
And then the bathrooms, I didn't get that picture, but how do we fix the doors on that? And do we have this open and available to the public all the time, or what?
If I may comment that we, because of the vandalism and some of the issues that have been associated with maintaining those washrooms, there has been some discussion about porta pots because they're sanitized and maintained better. For us, it's a little bit of a reach for us, only because of the fact that we need to focus on cleaning and keeping up with the program of routinely cleaning sewers and televising and so forth. But I have not seen the prices or the cost of such a service. I don't know.
Well, again, does that fall underneath the park?
Talk to the park department and see what they do, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
They do that in all their parks that have restrooms.
Okay.
yeah, so maybe we ask them if they would assist in maintaining some of that stuff.
Will do.
I think it's a great idea. Thank you, guys, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys? Thanks, Chris, for bringing that to our attention. That's, I think that's great.
Just a reminder to everyone, tomorrow the bad weather starts at noontime, and then Friday will be brutal with the wind chill factor, and the low temperatures, 0 degrees predicted, 26 mile per hour wind. They're looking at 26 to 27 below 0 chill factor. So any parts of your skin not covered for more than 10 minutes, that's a serious issue. So everyone should be very, very careful. If you can, just batten the hatches and ride it out.
Thanks, Dan. You get another cookie.
Thank you very much. I'll take you up.
On that cheery note, I have a Merry Christmas.
To go along with that, I just want to add that if anyone is interested in seeing road conditions, 511indiana.gov is available to log on, and you can see where all the state snow plows are, what road conditions there are and everything, so.
That's a good site.
Yeah, so go there, and we are also, INDOT is also on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube and other places. So you can go Instagram as well, but just go to INDOT's website, just go INDOT on social media, and you can find this site.
I'd also like to know who writes the funnies on there sometimes.
That is our communications director, who used to be a news dispatch sports guy, so you know Adam Harkeye.
Yeah. Oh, Adam. Okay.
Adam,
So that was 511
511indiana.gov. Yep.
Tom Flynn.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All of Slim is right.
Okay, so any other new business at all? Seeing that there isn't, I wish, the citizens of Michigan City and all of our employees and board members and everyone in the room and everyone that works for the Sanitary District a very, very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and a healthy and happy New Year for everyone. So really look forward to seeing you guys next year, and with that, we stand adjourned. Thank you. We'll see you guys at a regular meeting.
Merry Christmas,
January
everybody.
25th. Merry Christmas. Now I get cookies. No,